A lot happening. All right, just give me a second. Give me a gosh danged minute. I gotta get my life together. I gotta get some things together. All right. MS Paint, are you cool? Yeah, MS Paint's kind of cool. Not as cool as Photoshop, but sometimes my stream struggles when I have Photoshop up. But it looks like that's just what we're going to have to deal with here. How's the audio? Oh, I don't care about your ad. All right. We're going to have to deal with here. Okay, we're fine. What up? Let me put together a Photoshop real fast. Got home from work. Now I have to set up a whole stream. This is bullshit. This is bullshit! Alright. Let people gather while I do this. Pigman's not even here yet, so no rush. Captain... Tell us. We'll put his name in pink/purple because Slaanesh things. 40 is a bit too big. 30. We'll do 30. Captain Tillis versus Pigman. We'll do him in gold because he's a piss boy. I mean, gold medalist, elite gamer, cannot be defeated by anyone. And then what factions do I have to deal with here? So we have High Elves. I'll explain things in a second. For now, people are gathering. And if you're in the land of VODs, and you're just going to skip ahead to the games anyway, so nothing matters to you. There's Cathay. It's like, where the hell is Cathay? Captain Telis just messaged me, but I need a second, Mr. Telis. I need a second. Don't rush me. What map do you want? Copy message link. That should buy me a second. Now, the other side, I need Tomb Kings, Demons of Chaos, and Slaanesh. Okay. And then after that, I can talk to you people. But until then, consider yourselves ignored. Demons of Chaos. And Slaanesh. Alrighty. Pigman is here. Captain Telis is here. We're trying something a little bit different tonight. Boom. We're popping into the stream intro. If you go to my fancy Photoshop I just made, boom, you can see it right there. We got Captain Telis versus Pigman 202. Now, there is no fancy background. It's just black screen because, like I said, I got at my computer literally 4 minutes ago. But we have a new game mode. We're trying out survival. Now, it's not the survival that's in the game client, because that game mode sucks for some reason. It could be fun, but they made it way too easy. No, I just didn't think of a more creative name. Essentially here, what we're doing, this soul survival thingy, both sides have picked 3 factions. The first round will be pretty easy as we go head-to-head with these exact matchups. As I find my paintbrush, get rid of that thing. All right, let's say round 1, we have High Elves versus Tomb Kings, which we do. But let's say they fight it out. Pigman loses. Boom, High Elves is dead. Round 2, Demons of Chaos versus Cathay. Let's say Cathay loses. Boom, Cathay is dead. Let's say we get to round 3, Slaanesh versus Vampire Coast. Ooh, but Vampire Coast wins. You might be like, well, Captain Telis wins 2-1. He won 2 games. He lost 1. He wins. Nope, we're going to keep going. So then Vampire Coast will fight either the Demons of Chaos or the Tomb Kings. Let's say they win. Boom, Vampire Coast fight the Tomb Kings. Let's say they win. Boom, victory. Pigman is the winner. Right. So you just kind of keep going until you run out of factions. I did give both players 5 bans. They are exclusive bans. So like Pigman banned 5 from Telis. Telis banned 5 from Pigman. It's not global. There's not 10 factions removed. After that, I had them blind pick 3 factions of their choice. And then we just ended up with blind matchups. So the pick and ban for this wasn't like, I know I'm picking High Elves and Tomb Kings. It was just, all right, High Elves, Grand Cathay, Vampire Coast, the order he gave me those. Tomb Kings, Demons, Chaos, Slaanesh, the order he gave me these. We're going to see what happens. Should be fun. Can you cast these games ASMR style so I can fall asleep? Sure. And you are just hanging out in the Photoshop. I'm in the lobby with the players, taking a look at their armies, seeing how close we are to being readied up so I can prep some talking points. But you can't see the armies because that would be screen peeking. But if I can, I like to know what armies I'm going to talk about ahead of time so that I go into the game with an idea of what's going on. Hello. Hazel wanted to say hi? But the camera's not on, just so you know.
That's okay.
Okay.
She was standing by the door, so.
Hi, Hazel. Bye, Hazel.
I have a good stream.
Okay. Yeah. So game 1 will be High Elves, Tomb Kings. Game 2 will be Grand Cathay, Daemons of Chaos. Game 3 will be Vampire Coast versus Slaanesh. If it's a 3-0, then it's over. If not, there's no way it could tie. So one person has to have one faction left, the other person have to have 2 left. In which case, we'll have the person with one faction pick which matchup they want next, so they have the best chance of getting us to 5 games, because 5 games is fucking hype. I'll check back in on chat now. Hi, Will. Jepardu. You renewed your subscription today. I can't ignore you. That's true, I can't ignore you. I hope you're enjoying the early access to content. Unless you're a warp fire thrower. They don't get early access to content. They just get sick emotes. Please don't shout. I will try not to, Mr. Phoenix King. Hey, fuck you. Hey, Trogdar, I'm doing good. Captain Teals is popping out of chat because he is in here. Pigman has less than 100 gold left, so I think he's just kind of figuring out how to best allocate the funds. We'll be getting into games soon. Everything today is live, no replays for you people, so you're stuck. You're stuck with me in the lobbies. Alright, looks like we have a little bit of time. So I'm going to rant about a thing I wanted to rant about. I got Disney Plus recently, which I haven't had in a while. Grace and I wanted to watch some old Disney movies. And I was like, well, I have Disney Plus. I haven't watched Star Wars stuff in a long time, but I used to really like Star Wars. I hear a lot of the new stuff is garbage, but there's some of it I want to check out, like Andor and whatnot. Well, I'm a sucker for the Clone Wars because I was a little kid when the prequels came out, so I think the prequels are great because I grew up with them, so there's some serious bias there. So I hear about the series called Tales of the Jedi, which, I don't know. I heard mixed things about it, but I'm like, whatever, I'll check it out. It seems fine. And at the start, this isn't even spoilers because this is like 4 minutes into episode 1 before I finished working out and I hopped over here. A fucking saber-toothed tiger attacks Ahsoka's mom, and then like 8 guys from this village come over to help out with it, and they shoot at it, and like the tiger is fucking giant, and yet somehow all of them are shooting like fully automatic laser guns. And they miss, like, every single shot. None of them hit the saber-toothed tiger. And it stops, picks up the baby gently by, like, the scruff of its, like, little cloak, and runs off into the forest with the baby to eat it. And I'm like, alright, 2 things. 1, how the fuck did all of you miss? And 2, hey, cat, you're getting shot at. Like, how did you have the time to gently pick up your food? Like, just... Like, I don't want a baby to die, and I know Ahsoka can't die because, she's a main character. She didn't die as an infant. But, like, seriously, that cat would just snap her up, like, real fast, definitely injure her, maybe kill her on the spot accidentally, and run for its life. If it didn't just fuck off anyway, because usually when you shoot at a wild animal, it's not going to exactly... It'll forget food, is what I'm trying to get to here. It will just run. I don't know. That whole scene was ridiculous, and I hated it. Everything about it was just stupid. Should have used fully semi-automatic mode instead. Rambo, what'd you just join into? You're ranting about new Star Wars. As we load into game 1 of Captain Teals versus Pigman. Ba ba da dun 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 dun. If anybody was a fan of the multiplayer scene in Warhammer 2, do you remember the map Oakenhammer? Because I missed that map. Oakenhammer was everything I wanted out of a multiplayer map. Slight shifts in elevation, medium-large size, good deployment zones, one patch of trees to play around, but it wasn't too bullshit. The lighting was good. There wasn't a night version of the map, because casting on the night versions of the map is ass. Star Wars is for nerds, but you'll log on to a Warhammer stream? Rambo! I agree with you, though. Star Wars is for nerds. Thankfully, I am a nerd. I'm the nerdiest nerd. Also, there have been some complaints recently of my stream quality being shit. And I talked to Turin, and I watched some of his tape. Our streams look the same. And I actually have, like, slightly better bitrate for uploads than he does, which means my quality would be slightly better, but it's not. So you're just complaining that Warhammer 3 looks weird. Because, like, I don't know. Because once you back up, if you back up at all, everything gets kind of fuzzy. Like, you see how it all looks really low quality and shitty? But then when I zoom in, they get detailed. So, yeah. I don't know. Some people say the stream runs at 720p, but I have 1080. So everybody who complains is just wrong. But I suppose we should talk about the game. High Elves versus Tomb Kings. For the High Elves, we have a front line of Rangers. Don't see a lot of them, though I get it in this matchup. Physical resistance is going to be pretty good because the Tomb Kings don't have a lot of magic damage in melee. A lot of their magic damage is ranged, which if you're wasting your time shooting at Rangers, then you're not shooting at the Fireborn, so whatever. But anti-infantry, decent melee attack, decent stats. I get all that. I still think Rangers are trash for 600 gold, but like this is a matchup where they're not egregiously bad. They're just kind of like fine. Because High Elf Spearmen also aren't going to get through the Tomb King's front line quickly, so if you want an aggressive option, then Rangers are kind of what you get, unless you want to go all the way up to White Lions, which the armor piercing is also wasted on the Tomb Kings. So I get the Rangers pick, but if High Elves ever get buffs, I definitely would hope that they get some infantry buffs. Not that they need buffs right now, I'm just saying Rangers are ass peanuts. Anyway, for the rest of the army, we have the Fireborn. Super elite armor-piercing cavalry with fire damage. Fire damage is very good versus the Tomb Kings. Their whole army passive is global healing, so if you can reduce that healing, that is quite nice. Tyrion up front. Nice duelist lord, self-sufficient, and his Sun Fang is particularly good against the Tomb Kings. Their front line is low armor and weak to fire, which it does fire, and not a lot of armor-piercing damage. They're not weak to fire, it shuts down their healing like we literally just talked about. I know they don't literally take more fire damage, whatever. Anyway, we have a Noble just for a bit more anti-large armor piercing. Rahagra's Pride. Warlions Arwar with their little roar. Triple Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower to counter Ushabti or Sepulchral Stalkers or a Bone Giant. Really, there's just a lot of great targets for Eagle Bolt Throwers. And even though I've been shit-talking High Elf and Dark Elf Bolt Throwers since the Dwarves got a big buff for their little Bolt Thrower thing, I mean, they're still fine. I wouldn't say they're excellent or, like, good, but they're fine. And this is a great matchup for them. Lifecast with regrowth, that's it. The other side for Captain Telis, we have 4 Skeleton Horse Archers, 2 in the front, 2 way off in the trees. We have 2 Sepulchral Stalkers, 1 Screaming Skull Catapult, a Tomb Guard with Halberds, a front line of Skeleton Spearmen, Kepra Guard, Nehekar Warriors, and 1 Skeleton Warrior Regular. We have Ark in the Black, and a single regular Ushabti Greatbow that is currently badly losing its fight versus 3 Bolt Throwers. Can't say I'm surprised, but it is factually losing that fight. John B., you did catch the first game. What up, dude? Do you have anti-aliasing off? I think so. Let's see Turin, Paul Allen stream. That's an American Psycho reference that I get now, because I watched that movie last year. Got to stream with that battle log remover. Alright. Hey, my computer is only human after all. It can't do everything, so I do the best I can without starting it on fire. Skeleton Horse Archers are doing a bit of poking and being annoying, and also Spirit Leeches onto the Noble are doing pretty good damage, but ooh, nice! In the back, I missed it because I'm dumb and stupid. The Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers are completely caught off guard by the Skeleton Horseman Vanguard. Shutting down those elite Bolt Throwers is going to be a problem for the High Elves. Hopefully for them, their rush works out because their ranged is all gone already. 1 Ranger is routing from the Screaming Skull Catapult leadership debuff, plus being shot by artillery, plus being shot by Sepulchral Stalkers. That's just a lot task them to get through. Skeleton Horse Archers have been caught, but they made it all the way back to Sporkle Stalkers and Spear support. So going to do some good damage back. Ark can even summon skeletons behind the High Elves to make sure they stay in this situation right where he wants them. In the background, though, Illyrian Reavers doing well to chase off some Skeleton Horse Archers, got rid of those guys, but all 3 Eagle Bolt Throwers are down, definitely favoring the Tomb Kings at this point, but the damage value is very, very similar, and the High Elves do have regrowth to always inflate those damage value numbers on their side. Fireborn and Rangers teaming up to take out Sporkle Stalkers and these Skeleton Spearmen pretty effectively. Sporkle Stalkers taking a lot of damage. And though there is a brief lead for the Tomb Kings, I think it's going to get a little scarier for them as the High Elf melee is just a bit better. And it's going to be really hard for the Tomb Kings to keep these Sporkle Stalkers up and shooting somewhere. Ushopti are already having a hard time shooting anything. The Scream Skull Catapult's also obstructed. There's just a lot of obstruction going around, and there's the first of many regrowths for the Fireborn, I imagine. I think they'll get at least 3 this game. That one's overcast, so they might only need 2. Hogger's probably going to find their way onto the Ushopti. Some Skeleton Warriors try and stop them, but those are no Spearmen. And, ooh, a sandwich in from the Fireborn. Probably spelling the death of the Ushopti Greatbows. As Tyrion is trying to distract the Sporkle Stalkers, looks like they have guard mode on those. They are still going to try and fire over into the Fireborn and the Rahagri's Pride. But that is a new Ushopti Greatbow gone. Tomb Kings of Captain Teals are starting to pull a little bit ahead on the balance of, not the balance power, damage value. And we have some Rangers that need rallying. Meanwhile, Mage of Life is being picked off by a Skirmish Cav. And our Rahagri's Pride are starting to take a lot of attrition damage. I know we just saw a regrowth, but if there is time and Winds of Magic, it would be good to get another regrowth out onto the Rahagri's Pride. Maybe try and keep them alive a little bit. As both Sporkle Stalkers are still technically up and alive, this one that took a lot of damage earlier has stabilized and is out shooting at the Fireborn. Man, losing those Bolt Throwers was really brutal for the High Elves here. But they only had 2 cavalry. They couldn't really protect them all unless they took a defensive stance, which they might have wanted to with 3 Bolt Throwers. I think they could have outshot the enemy, so I don't think they had to be so eager to get into a fight. But the mistakes of the past cannot be remedied at the present. Ushopti Summon is out. That is a very temporary source of power for the Tomb Kings. And now, unfortunately, a lot of things need healing at the same time. The Noble and the Regrowth caster herself are in trouble, and she has to throw a Regrowth on herself. It is overcast, but she needed it, otherwise she was going to rout. And if she routs, or God forbid, dies, then no one gets Regrowths, so sucks to suck. But the Noble needs a Regrowth, so do the Fireborn, and so do the Rahagri's Pride. With 13 out of 24 models, they still could get a lot of healing, but there's only so many Regrowths you can really cast. Tyrion's in here trying to do his best. He doesn't need a Regrowth, however. His Heart of Avalorn will keep him nice and safe. And in comes Sunfang. Should do decent damage even to these Tomb Guard with only 55 armor. They're not incredible at resisting that sort of attack. Scream Skull Catapult's still online and firing here and there. Sporkle Stalker's also going to shoot at the Fireborn, who were just charging down Captain Guard for a little bit. Looks like the Noble is routing. Might even die as he's surrounded by halberds and getting Spirit Leech. Bounce power is getting dangerously low for the High Elves. Now, there is a fraudulent amount of bounce power in those Ushopti. That is gone, and Tyrion does have a second whole health bar in him if his Heart of Avalorn pops without him dying. Or shattering, or routing, or whatever. Fireborn is trying to stay out here, stay alive. Can get another regrowth sometime soon, possibly. Arkin survives Tyrion's attempts on his life. Rangers doing decent work over here against these Nanakara warriors. So the Rangers, at least just keeping a little bit of pressure on the Tomb King's infantry. We have a full health Spearman, a half health Spearman, and a full health Tomb Guard still to kill. I mean, if you give Tyrion a ton of time to use Sunfang over and over again, he could maybe do it, but things are starting to look pretty bleak. We got some Bolt Throwers back online, though. One crew is up. There is a regrowth to try and save the Fireborn. It is overcast as well. Illyrian Reaver is going to get a final charge on these Skeleton Horsemen. I think the Skeleton Horse Archers should be able to beat up an Illyrian Reaver that's that badly wounded. And here comes the moment of truth. Can Tyrion get his heal before routing? No, he gets it after routing, which is a disaster. And unfortunately, a disaster that happens to Tyrion actually quite a bit. But he's going to need to ride off into the sunset. There's not a lot of horsemen for the Tomb Kings that could stop him, so at least he will be able to come back. And with a charge bonus to buff up his leadership for a second, he'll probably stay in the fight long enough to take damage to get his heal, which he desperately wants. But there doesn't seem to be enough staying power here. Another Screaming Skull volley onto the Fireborn is pretty brutal. They will take out Sporkle Stalkers, and Tyrion is back. That should buoy the balance of power enough to at least not army loss the High Elves. But the Fireborn, nearly heal capped. A spent force. They have been trying to put this game on their back. I've seen all the cycle charging they've been doing. They've been putting in their best effort, but it's only so far. There it is. The Spirit Leech procs the Heart of Avalorn. Tyrion really needed. Balance power gets a lot more stable for the High Elves. Now it is being kept away from army losses, and they can delay this game a little bit longer. Skeleton Horse Archers completely unstopped. There's nothing left as the Fireborn are routing, and I saw the Illyrian Reavers route, so they are here to stop those bolt throwers once again. But it looks like we'll have a Sporkle Stalker crumble away into nothingness. Arkin is still, like, full HP. He's foot Arkin, though. Oh, okay, so Tyrion could get to him if he had the time. Sunfang only recharges when you're in melee, I think. Yes. So he's not, like, kiting out to recharge it right now. He's just trying to find a fight. Illyrian Reaver's gonna rout again. Tyrion getting closer and closer to being alone on this battlefield. He can get another proc of his Heart of Avalorn. It's not single use. It's just on a cooldown. So in 70 seconds, you can get another heal. Looks like for now he's going to try and take out the Sporkle Stalkers. Once again, I really believe he is trying to charge up Sunfang without taking too much damage. Now, he is going to take a lot of damage from the Sporkle Stalkers, but it's better than fighting in these halberds and whatnot. Like, that's still preferable. And the Sporkle Stalkers do have to die. They do less damage in melee than do at range. So as bad as the situation looks, it's probably the best thing you can do with Tyrion. Probably, because he's definitely just trying to charge up Sunfang. It's the only way to kill the infantry. Fireborn usually lasts their life, take out the Scream Skull Catapults. Again, if they can knock these guys out, that would be huge for the balance of power, as the High Elves are just teetering on the very edge, and balance of power is their worst enemy right now, so they have to just constantly take good value traits so that the balance of power doesn't give up on them. Final regrowth will probably go onto the caster just for BOP, plus, of course, Tyrion can heal himself in about 30 seconds, but here comes that beautiful Sunfang we're hoping for. The Kepler Guard are actually weak to fire damage, so that should do a lot more to them than other things. Unfortunately, still not as much as I kind of expected. I guess they have 70 armor, more than the regular Tomb Guard of 55. And the Sporkle Stalkers are still holding against Tyrion. His Faint and Riposte should be up pretty soon. It actually has a relatively short cooldown, so we'll see over there. Fireborn continuing to hold. Another Spirit Leech, though, and they're already, like, heal cap. There's no healing left coming for them, even if a regrowth was up. It looks like army loss is going to take these guys out. And game one goes to the Tomb Kings. I like this format. Maybe you'll plagiarize. Do it. Jack! Arkin got really good value for Captain Telis. His infantry held for as long as he needed them to, so that was pretty great. Skeleton Horseman, you could tell which two got that flank off under the triple bolt throwers. And Pigman brought that game pretty close. If his 3 bolt throwers had been able to do anything before dying, he probably would have won that. But yeah, a combined value for them that almost paid for one of them is pretty brutal. Fireborn did well. Illyrian Reavers did well. Rangers mixed, but with the Tomb Kings, usually you're not going to pay for it yourself, but you still have to get through that front line, and Tyrion did okay. So GG's. I'll take you to the Photoshop before I hop back into the lobby in case I'm on their army screen. I am on their army screen, but they hadn't changed armies yet. Still fine. All right. So Pigman loses the High Elves. He still has 2 factions, Grand Cathay and Vampire Coast. He is not out of this by any means. Now, if you were not here at the start when I explained the format, we are going through with the matchups you see side to side. So next game will be Demons of Chaos versus Grand Cathay, and then Vampire Coast versus Slaanesh. But then we will reset, and let's say, theoretically, Pigman loses Grand Cathay, he keeps Vampire Coast, Captain Telis loses Slaanesh. Vampire Coast could fight Tomb Kings, and then Demons of Chaos, and if he wins both of those, he could still win the event. So he has lost 1 life out of 3. Not a big deal. Second map is Gorgazan. Grand Cathay build is ready. Demons of Chaos are working on it. And this will just be the screen blocker for now, as I take a look at the armies. More out of curiosity than actually worried the players are going to break any rules. There's no special rules. It's just the normal tournament rules these players have been playing on for... I don't know. I don't know how long Captain Teals has been playing. I recognize him back from Warhammer 2. But I think he played a lot of Quick Battle. I don't remember. Pigman hopped into the scene... Was it within the last year, or has it been longer than that? I remember his first new player tournament. But I just don't remember when it was. But I remember, like, the games. He brought the Dreadquake Mortar and fucking roasted kids. And then he forest camped because he didn't read the rules, which is fine. New player tournaments were generally pretty chill about that. So I got mad at him. Then he said, sorry, fam. Game 2. We have Karanak, Hound of the Blood Hunt, and a pretty diverse Demons of Chaos roster. I have some thoughts on it, but I really like this Grand Cathay build. I don't know if it's good. I haven't seen anything like it, but I just like seeing different stuff, and I do think Grand Cathay cannons are undervalued. And Pigman brought 3 of them. Also, he brought the War Drum, which I think it sucks, but I'm still excited to see it. What up, Rider of Rohan? How you doing, dude? I thought about hitting you up for this, but I hit up Tealus instead, because I feel like I always make you fight Pigman, and at some point I need to just let you two be friends. I don't accept it. I don't accept that you have any friends besides me, so I've been trying to turn you two against each other, but to no avail. One thing I did see in the Demons of Chaos army that I don't really like is the Plague Bearers. I think Plague Bearers are a fine unit. I don't think they're like meta, where you should take them in every matchup, but I don't think they're bad. I think they have matchups. My main thing is that they're a very defensive unit. They have extremely high HP pools. They're very, very tanky. But this Demons of Chaos build looked like it was rushing, so I don't know what role they're going to fill in the attacking army, where it's like, why do we have defensive units on attacking army? What are they holding for? What are they buying time for? Right? Nothing's shooting over them. If they're just there to muck up the front line, then won't they get in the Bloodletter's way? Or if the Bloodletters are going to take the middle and they take the flanks, then what's the point? I don't know. So when I was looking at the build, the Plague Bear is the only thing that I look at and kind of scratch my head wondering what exactly their purpose is. For the rest of the army, since we're talking about the Demons of Chaos, we have the Sour Guts, Pink Horror, ROR, 2 Blue Horrors of Tzeentch, a mixed front line of Bloodletters and Plague Bearers of Nurgle, 2 Nurglings on the front line, 4 Chaos Furies, looks like a mix of Khorne and Slaanesh. Khorne for the extra weapon strength, Slaanesh for the armor piercing. Then I did see a Herald of Tzeentch and Karanak. Herald of Tzeentch has blue fire, and that is it. His chromatic atone for infinite winds of magic over time. And then Karanak, the Bloodhound. He has his net that does damage, and then he has his silence. Yeah. AoE silence. Swap them to Nurglings for Rush? Yeah, maybe. Like, I'm not trying to say they're a bad unit. I just don't think they're synergistic with this specific build that Captain Tealus brought. I could be wrong. I'm ready to be wrong. On the other side, for Grand Cathay, we have a Jade Warrior Halberd frontline, a Peasant Long Spearman backline, triple Grand Cannon, a Zhengdu War Drum, and then some Jade Lancers, Peasant Horsemen for a bit of mobility, and a Dragon-Blooded Shugi Lord of Yin with Storm of Shadows and Ancestral Warriors. And we have some Iron Hail Gunners. I forget whether I mentioned them or not. It looks like we have 3. Now, the 3 cannons won't have the most to do in this specific matchup because the Demons of Chaos brought mass infantry, but if you had Soul Grinder, Kite, Soul Grinder of Tzeentch, or Nurgle, the cannons would fuck them up pretty bad. If you were relying on a big single entity to carry this for you, like an Exalted Bloodthirster, Exalted Keeper of Secrets for the Rampage grouping or whatever, or you had Skull Crushers or any form of Heavy Cav or Fiends, the Grand Cannons would do great. Unfortunately, there are no Fiends here. There's nothing large at all for the cannons to really take out, and that is a bit unfortunate. They also would have done well against Changebringer Kite, just for that solid constant damage. So I'm sure the cannons will be a little sad they have no hard counters here that they can kill, but like they'll keep the Herald of Tzeentch super honest. He has just an excessively low HP pool, so if the cannons just train on him, one on Karanak, one on him, and another one doing whatever it feels like, and that'll be fine. I don't think you should have too many things aim at the Herald, because you'll knock him over, and then the other cannonballs will miss, so it'll just be a waste of your time. Karanak's fine, especially with the Storm of Shadows slow, but he's a large target, so the cannonballs don't knock him over. Still, 52 speed, even while slowed by almost half, and he is going to dodge very, very well. Single entities, very good at dodging cannon shots, because they have like a mild amount of homing, but not enough. that you could actually like hit something that's dodging, which I'm not complaining. I think if you're actively dodging, you probably shouldn't get hit by straight firing artillery. That just feels like good skill expression. So Karenak's dodging all these shots for the most part. Pigman probably wants to grab one of the cannons and put it on something else and another cannon on something else. All firing at the same target just makes it too easy to dodge with one target, and you're neutralizing 3 cannons. The infantry of the demons are moving up. I'm curious what the Iron Hails are going to do. Maybe he's just going to keep them for pure anti-air, because they're not moving forward to get any cheeky shots and then retreat or anything. He's just kind of staying where he is. Blue fire is out for the Yin Lord. Does some solid damage, and now one of the cannons is shooting at the Herald of Tzeentch, and then he gets slowed by the Storm of Shadows down to 21 speed, significantly less than his doggy friend. That should be a bit more guaranteed damage value, but splitting up the cannon shots, he's getting a couple good shots on the Herald of Tzeentch. Now, these pink horrors, something needs to be done to keep them out of range of the cannons. It looks like the Grand Cathay front line is marching up to accomplish that task. They are breaking the box formation, but just more prioritizing keeping those blue and pink horrors out of range of the cannons. The cannons can keep firing, doing decent little poke damage here to Karanak. Now that the Demons of Chaos are more engaged, they have less time to just keep focusing on purely dodging. More of the shots are landing. But in come the Furies, Iron Hail Gunners, and Jade Lancers running back to try and deal with this now. How long can the Grand Cannons hold? One of them is dying very quickly. The other one's not so much. That damage values are very equal. And more Furies are flying in to damage the Iron Hail Gunners. The infantry having some issues. Cannons not getting a whole lot done at this point after the melee has been engaged. But the Chaos Furies, even after their buffs, are very weak of will. Quick to demonic instability crumble units, and if he can get rid of them, then Pigman will have a big advantage, because then everything else is ground-based infantry. It takes a long time to really get involved. Ancestral Warrior Summon is out, currently getting buffed up for more melee attack, plus they already do magic damage. These Bloodletters are going to have a terrible time. And 2 of the cannons are kept alive, still trying to shoot at Karanak at extremely close range. In comes a blue fire down the line of these Iron Hail Gunners to get rid of them. Shugi Lord of Yin has to be careful, doesn't want to hang around Karanak too long, or she will stay silenced. She can't cast spells or anything, though with an Ancestral Warrior just out, I doubt she has too much Winds Magic to worry about that right now. Peasant Horseman still bouncing back and forth. The Zengju War Drum continues to beat a very quiet rhythm, but still a rhythm, I imagine. Can barely hear the damn thing. Trying to help out all of these units in this area, and it has actually a super large area. So it's helping out a lot of the Cathay units with their stats. Pigman is starting to pull way ahead in damage value. Another blue fire is out. Onto Peasant Longspears, it looks like. And Karanak, the Dragonblooded Shugenid Lord, dives onto Karanak. Usually it's the other way around. Normally things want to avoid the Hound of Khorne, but looks like he's surrounded by Jade Lancers and Spears, so she just kind of wants to take this fight for now. Seems a little suspect. Does he pop any of his nets? His Spirit Leech type nets? Looks like they might be on cooldown, because one has been used and the game hasn't even gone that long, so he's probably just out of it. Karanak fades away. Blue Horror is starting to look a little suspect. And we still have Plague Bearers holding down the front line against the Jade Halberds. But they're not going to get through them anytime soon. Another blue fire is out. We have some Iron Hail Gunners who are rallying. There are some Bloodletters nearby that can maybe go catch them. Other Bloodletters killing Peasant Longspears. Should be able to beat these Peasant Longspears even in a 2v1. But the Yin Lord is already out after the Herald of Tzeentch, and there's nothing to really punish her for doing this. All the mobility for the Demons of Chaos is gone. Karanak's dead. All the Furies are dead. There's no Fiends or anything, so she has nothing to fear. If infantry waddle towards her, she'll just get back to the sky and fly away. Looks like the Herald is doomed. Cathay is probably going to take this game too. We'll see, as Nurglings have gotten in to try and take down the cannons. But I just think there's nothing that can stop the Yin Lord from killing this Herald of Tzeentch. And then after that, the Cathay infantry with the leadership will just slowly kill the Demons of Chaos without any leadership. Homie is T-posing on the front of the drum. Yeah, a little bit. Alright. Herald of Tzeentch still taking damage. Every so often gets knocked down. That's not going to disrupt the dragon-butted Shugi Lord. Sour Guts are out here still firing away where they can, but more demons fading away. Peasant Longspear is given a bunch more. 8 more melee attack and ITP from the Zhengzhou War Drums. And a unit that I thought was trash is doing pretty good. That reminds me of when in Warpstone Cup semifinals, I think it was Segos versus Sipa. Sipa took 2 Gate Masters and just used them versus Beastmen as like kind of like the Empire uses their engineers as just these like 360 shooting armor piercing guys to just constantly poke down Gorgons and Jabberslights. So Cathay might have some tech. They might have some tech in them that people haven't tried. Everyone's too busy just spamming Zhao Ming. Demons of Chaos fall to Grand Cathay. Both sides have lost a faction. Looking around at the values, nothing really standing out to me as most sides just did a lot of good work. Cannon struggled because, like I said at the start of the game, they had like nothing to shoot at, but they held through. They held through. On to game 3. We now guarantee it's not a sweep. But we'll find out who enters the second round advantaged as the final fight of the first round blind picks, Vampire Coast versus Slaanesh. Traditionally, this is Slaanesh favored. I mean, Captain Teals is an amazing Slaanesh player, so I'm sure this isn't spoilers. Alright, sorry. 1 second. One of the players had a question. Okay. Slaanesh is traditionally thought to be favored in this matchup because of their heavily armored Chaos Warriors they can spam. But since then, Vampire Coast have gotten some buffs. And I don't know how much that changes this matchup. Because the crabs are stronger. Collision attacks on the Rotting Leviathan, which actually could matter, because Slaanesh is uniquely terrible at killing large single entities, so a Rotting Leviathan could actually be like kind of spooky here. Luther's gotten Disruption on his pistol, and Slaanesh always sucks at dealing with sky stuff, so he could just constantly silence your Lord and Caster. I'm trying to think of what else got buffs since I thought about this matchup. I'm just looking at the whole roster. Have Moringul's gotten buffs? I don't remember. 950 looks cheap to me, so I wonder if Moringul's got buffs. Carronade's got an accuracy buff, though I don't know how much that matters in this matchup. I think that's largely it. Crabs, possibly Moringul's, Luther, Carronade buffs. Did Depth Guard get buffs? I'm actually not sure. I don't know. I guess on the Slaanesh side, there were some buffs too. Because they got like all the demonic buffs, right? Since I've thought about this matchup. Leadership buffs for their stuff. And oh yeah, I haven't thought about this matchup since the Fury meta came in. I wonder how much Chaos Furies affects this. I don't know. It's interesting. Did Sirens get buffed? I don't know. It's been a while since we had like a real balance patch, so I'm actually just not sure. I have thoughts, but I'll save them. I'm watching the builds get built, and I'm like, I wanna say some things. It's not allowed. Not allowed to say things about builds as they're being built. It's kind of fucked up. All the Count's ghost units got buffed. Do you remember what got buffed about him? I try not to have thoughts. What up, awesome Rhino? How you doing? Will a human boy get buffed? I've been buffed. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Nah, dude, this shit won't stand. Hold on. Never mind. Whatever. Never mind, dude. Just, it's fine. Never mind. Just do whatever you want. Make fun of me. Kick me while I'm down. It's cool. It's fine. So the thing I wanted to talk about... Now I can... So the thing I wanted to talk about is... Oh. One of the players keeps on readying whenever I'm just about to do the thing. Your boy needs to do more exercise streams. Dude, what? No, this is shit. This is garbage. I don't accept this. Hold on. Fuck you. Uh-oh. They broke the lobby. They broke the fucking lobby. Why would they do this? Whatever. Dude, alright, so I plugged the camera in. Like, look at this! Look at this! I don't need more exercise streams. Oh! Oh! It's glorious. It's glorious. Y'all talking shit. You don't even know. When will Human Boy get buffed? I don't need to get buffed. I was born buffed. Look at this. Look at this arm. This arm's got a tattoo on it. That's how you get buffed. Tattoos equal muscles. Muscles equal gains. What the fuck is this? God, I'm sick of all you guys' shit. I'm sick of it. Sick of your garbage. Alright. Alright. Like the lobby is broken. Alright, lobby is briefly broken. Both players are readied up, but it's just not starting. So, sorry about that. We're just getting a new lobby up. Had the lobby bug where it doesn't start even though both players are ready. So, we'll get them in the new lobby and get going. It's like a dog deer being Q-tipped into my ears every time his voice breaks. That's the camera getting plugged in noise? Yeah, probably. Stream doesn't like it when you switch. Switch microphones or whatever. He's way too buffed, can't be held. Okay, I'm not that. Jeez, I'm only like, what am I, 170 pounds? I'm 170 pounds. It's not even that strong. Oh, okay. I see, John P. I see. Yeah, it sounds like the microphone got mad that I plugged in a camera, which it also has a source of a microphone. I'm gonna put you guys back on the Photoshop for just a second so that I can check on these armies being made and see how we're coming along. Okay, looks like we're about ready to go. Both the armies are what they were before we froze. Not that that matters, because we never got into the game, so the players don't actually know what the other person's army was, but still. Boom. Alright, the thing I had is Pigman is a stealer and a sneaky git. And he stole and he did not do a steal. He took Araness Assault's Pite and Van Geist's Revenge. That's my thing. That's my fucking thing. Okay? I Coops as my witness. I was practicing to fight Sipa, and it didn't work versus Sipa, and Sipa still beat me. But Coops and I were working on this matchup, and I was playing Vampire Coast into his Slaanesh, and I took Van Geist's Revenge and Araness Assault's Pite for the net Van Geist Revenge combo to kill his chosen. This is fucked. This is plagiarism, and I'm upset. Also, he took a Rotting Leviathan and a Bloated Corpse, which if he hides the Bloated Corpse behind the Rotting Leviathan, that is also plagiarism of my Armored Personnel Carrier strategy I displayed versus Battlesy. This is all fucked up. Yeah, Phoenix King on the same page. I'm hearing a lot of whining to start this game. It's true, dude. Awesome, Rhino. You've been around for long enough to know that like 60% of my content is whining and complaining. And the other 40% is breathing so I can complain and whine more with full lungs. Oh. I don't want to be gross, but I think something has crawled into this Tomb King's bum. I think that is the face of something that crawled up in there under the sand. You got Scorpion in your bum face. For all eternity. So someone in chat, before I got lost to the rage, it was Trogdor. Trogdor mentioned the Vampire Count's ghost units, and I didn't want to have too much of a reaction because I was staring at Pigman's build, which had 5 Syrenes. So we have 5 Syrenes. Then we have some animated Hulks, Rotting Promethean's Gunnery Mob, a Rotting Leviathan with a Bloated Corpse, a bunch of Pistol Mobs. He was flirting with Queen Bess. It looks like he landed on the not Queen Bess terrain. And then we have Van Geist's Revenge and Tide Call on a Caster of the Deeps, and Araness Assault's Pite in the front with her net and Kraken's Bane. The other side for Slaanesh, we have 2 Chaos Furies, 3 Skirmish Cav, 2 Fiends of Slaanesh, very much buffed up. They are a unit that is probably overpowered right now. I don't know why I said probably. They are overpowered right now, but it's funny how they went from being one of the worst meme units in the game to being overpowered in one patch. Then Devoted Marauders and Chaos Warrior frontline with Azazel up in the sky with only his Rampage as a spell. How do you know what the Scorpion in the bum face looks like? Practice. Anticity build? Autumn Chad? This is not Anticity. This is my build. Okay, it's not my build. It has elements of my build in it. I'm on Team Crab for this matchup. Unfortunately, the Van Geist net combo is going to kind of fall flat because there's no Chosen of Slaanesh, but it'll still be okay for a bit. I was a little worried about what 3 Skirmish Cav would do, but I just realized there's 5 Pistol Mobs that can do a little bit of peeling here, so yeah, it should be fine. Is it good for Demon Faction? I think not good because they have a lot of magic attack. It's kind of supposed to be going both ways. They're armor piercing, so they can get through the Chaos Warriors and Chosen of Slaanesh, but also they do magic damage, and all Slaanesh units have like 5% physical resistance or some shit. And their demons have higher physical resistance. 20 on these guys. Where are the Demonette ROR? 20 for them. So it's kind of like... Yeah, like I said, it's kind of like a suicide pact where both sides are like, yeah, you got physical resistance, I got physical resistance. You got magic damage, I got magic damage. But it's not like the Chaos Warriors or Marauders of Slaanesh have magic damage. It's just the Demonettes and Fiends that do. So the Skirmish Cav also have magic ammo. So it's not like there's none of it, but like, you know, it's around. Cyrene's going to catch up to these guys, and they do have Charmed. They don't have the Slow. They don't have Frostbite like a lot of other ethereal units. And okay, Pigman's not stealing my build because the Bloated Corpse isn't inside of his Rotting Leviathan, so I take back what I said. Is Slaanesh getting crabs? Yes. Also, hi, Potato Salad. Hi, Arcaneme. So the Bloated Corpse is out and about. The Skirmish Cav are doing a lot of damage to Cyrenes. Pigman has forgotten his Rotting Leviathan. It's now starting to walk up. It does have Fiends creeping towards it. I don't want to miss the Bloated Corpse, though. Is he going to net these Chaos Warriors? I honestly kind of think he should, right in front of his Bloated Corpse. But, oh no, they're getting spread out. He's going to catch one of the Chaos Warriors, and it won't do too much damage to the whole unit. Okay, half health. Still pretty good. That's still pretty good. Actually, that probably pays for that Bloated Corpse, to be honest. Looks like a Rampage is coming in for the Pistol Mobs, and Azazel plus the Fiends plus all the Furies are diving the back line, trying to ignore the Rotting Leviathan for now, but they're just trying to get past the Cyrene front line that is extended very far away from all the pistols and stuff, so they're just trying to get a bit done here, but one of the Chaos Furies already fades away. As we saw in the Demons of Chaos versus Grand Cathay matchup, the Furies just don't really have a lot of longevity. Pigman needs to find a home. His forces are getting very spread out, and I'm getting concerned about them. The Bringers of Beguilement get a fight that they very much want. They are going to cleave through these pistol mobs like nobody's business, as the Fiends are going to get away with mild damage to themselves. We lost one of our two Furies. Another Fury is diving back in, and there comes a Vanguard's Revenge. Down the Skirmish Cav. He's hoping that the Slaanesh player is not looking, and it is true. The Slaanesh player was not looking. Over half HP off all three Skirmish Cav, followed up by a Tide Call for just a little bit more damage. That is really good stuff from Pigman there. Great spell usage. Now, it's not, Vanguard does a lot more damage to infantry than cavalry, but I would definitely take that onto 3 cavalry units rather than, like, netting 1 infantry and getting a shot on that. That was really, really nice. So, good things there. The pistol mobs have mostly been salvaged. There were 5 of them. Now we are down to, like, 3.5. And 1 is still crumbling a little bit, but it'll get over it. Cyrene's doing well in the front line. Like, they're beating up on these Chaos Warriors, and I think that's kind of what he brought them for, is to slam armored units. Chaos Warriors without magic damage to rebuttal, and their physical resistance and armor is all useless because the Cyrenes have intense armor piercing. That's what they're here for, but these Fiends rear charging into a Pavane, oh, that is a dead Cyrene. Fiends Uno reversing them with their own melee debuffs, their own magic damage. Aranessa probably needs to realize the party's over and she needs to regroup with all these units, because the Cyrenes that she extended really far with are, like, literally all gone. As soon as the Fiends and Azazel got involved, the Cyrenes were toast. And now the Fiends are running uphill. Aranessa does not want to stay here for too long. Get some decent damage onto the Fiends of Slaanesh on the downhill charge, but there go your Cyrenes. You are all alone. Rotting Leviathan's trying to get over here, so are the Rotting Promethean's gunnery mobs, but these pistol mobs are way out of range. Aranessa's taking some damage, now trying to run. Throws out an overcasted Tide Call through the Bringers of Beguilement, but takes a lot of damage from the overcast and now gets Fascination rampaged back into the Bringers of Beguilement. Azazel dives down on her, and that is a dead caster for the Vampire Coast. Aranessa might live, but actually she's not about to take that lying down. She goes back in with the Spearfisher's Net, but now she dives into the Bringers of Beguilement while taking Skirmish Cav fire. This is overbold. As she dives back in, the Vein of Slaanesh is going to rampage her, make sure she can't correct her mistake. Gets pulled deeper into the Bringers of Beguilement, who will tear her limb from limb. And just like that, Aranessa is dead. 500 HP left on her, and Azazel's just going to chase her off, leaving the Bringers of Beguilement to run off and do their own thing. Fiends are tearing apart the Rotting Promethean gunnery mobs. The Rotting Leviathan is not taking very much damage from this exchange, but it doesn't seem like it matters as Slaanesh takes a decisive lead on the balance of power. And the Bringers of Beguilement should be able to clean up the rest. Skirmish Cav and random Chaos Warriors and Marauders are going to clean up the rest of the pistol mobs. Aranessa is dead. And that'll be GG. Unless you think a Rotting Leviathan can literally kill everything on the map. I don't, but, like, you can think that. There's army losses, though, so you're running out of time to think that. No Lampreys? No Lampreys. Crab butt. Alright. Azazel did well. His Chaos Warriors and Marauders didn't do much, but the Bringers of Goblin did fantastically. Skirmish Cav did great. Furies got killed instantly, but the Fiends did enough on their end. Beautiful Vangeist's Revenge. Got a lot of value out, but after that, the caster did get sniped up pretty quickly. Sirens, mixed value across the board. Pistol Mobs actually did very well. Bloated Corpse did fine for a Bloated Corpse. Rotting Leviathan and the Rotting Promethean's Gunnery Mob did okay. Now, map is Reichland. Reichland Estates. Map is set, blocker is up, and armies are being constructed. So this is where we are at. Now, Pigman still has 1 life. He has his Grand Cathay. Captain Telos has 2 lives. His Tomb Kings and his Slaanesh are still alive. I asked Pigman, which would you rather fight? Would you rather fight the Tomb Kings or would you rather fight Slaanesh as your next opponent? Because to win, he has to beat them both. Pigman, to try and get us to a game 5 here, has chosen to fight Slaanesh. So Captain Telos will remain on his main. His main is Slaanesh. Pigman pulling a last stand with his Grand Cathay. Grand Cathay versus Slaanesh will be game 4. Will we go to game 5, or will Pigman 202 be slain here by the Prince of Pleasure? Strangely, human wants to lay claim to that army. Nah. It's a great army. It's a great army. You can eat my shorts, Mr. Man. Game 4 will be underway soon. What are we thinking of the format? Any thoughts? Liking it? Hating it? Improvements? Compliments? I thought a first time would be 3 factions per player. Just to get it going. See how it goes. Iron out any kinks. My ideal would be someday to do each person has 5 factions. And then it's like a maximum of 9 games. Maybe one side has like, well, you know, whatever 5 factions they pick, but still. Could be a lot. Could be fun. I'm hoping to keep doing it if people like it, where like I just grab 2 players of roughly equal skill, which is where I grabbed Captain Telos and Pigman. They're both NA time zone, which I knew I could only stream after work today, so I needed someone from the NA time zone. And Captain Telos and Pigman 202 are both very good NA players. Format is cool. Whoever came up with the idea is super cool. Oh, that means I'm super cool because it's my format. It's mine. I claim it. Needs more Skaven. Now Potato Salad's out here spitting facts. Potato Salad, are you the same person in my Discord that posts a bunch of rat memes? Hold on. Hold on. I knew that name looked familiar. It being cute pets. It is Potato Salad from the Discord that posts all the cute rat memes. There you are. What up, dude? How you doing? How you doing? All right, we're into game 4. Now, if you believe Coops, which I do, Coops is a trustworthy lad. This matchup is like unwinnable for Slaanesh. Now, he has been saying that since before Slaanesh got buffs and Cathay got nerfs. But still, it can be rather difficult for the side of Slaanesh. Cathay is really good at boxing. And Slaanesh does not love that. John B, good. Good. Awesome Rhino, I dig it. Now, traditionally, in American culture, taking a dig at someone is not a nice thing to say. So I'm guessing that Awesome Rhino hates this format. And I'll keep that in mind. I'll never do it again if it offends him, because I only do what Awesome Rhino commands. Prophet of the Great Rat. That is Potato Salad. I think Potato Salad should be the one running a Skaven-themed YouTube channel here. He clearly has more commitment than I do. 1,001 airstrikes, brother! How you doing? How you doing? Hope you are well. 1001 airstrikes. If you're looking for more fun content, tomorrow night, same time as this stream, we have a new player tournament, as per usual. And then Monday night at this time, we have a Conquest tabletop tournament. So it's not on tabletop. Obviously, it's in Warhammer 3, but it's like that tabletop style. So every player builds an army before the tournament even starts, and they just pilot that army through. So we have a bunch of night streams coming up. I work 4 10-hour shifts a week. Normally it's Monday, Tuesday, then I take Wednesday off, and then I work Thursday, Friday. And that's why I can stream during the EU time zone in the week on Wednesdays. But this week and next week I have conventions to go sell board games at Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I literally am gone 7 days a week and can't stream at the EU time zone. So like for the next 2 weeks, all my streams are going to be at night. And I know my EU fans are super happy about that because first I was busy, so they didn't get a lot of EU streams. And now I have stuff that stops me from doing EU streams. They're just like, oh, okay, cool. Cool, Human Boy, I see how it is. You just stream for NA folks now. That's fine. And I say, yeah. Frick EU. Plug the game. Yeah, I'm going to 2D Con in the Twin Cities, and I'm going to Phoenix Con in Wisconsin to sell Puppet Masters, which is a board game I made. And there's links for it in the description of every video I have. Yeah, there it is. Board game, puppetmastersproject.com. Very briefly, if you played Magic the Gathering, you know Magic is like a dueling card game, right? This is an all-in-one dueling card game, so it's just one box. There's no expansion packs, there's no card packs, nothing like that. So like everything's in the box. 27 playable characters, 18 decks, all within the box. Grab some decks, grab a character, duel your opponent. If you die, grab a different character. Try again. Try with someone else. Try a different combination. Try all the things. All at a nice, low price point made by the world's third favorite rat man. You just had the Olympics. They don't need Human Boy streams too. And Lil Trill, why is it late there? Fix the sun. Alright, so we have our 4th game. Now, Pigman is up against the ropes. If his Grand Cathay falls, that is his last life, and he is out. If you want us to go to Game 5, you are rooting for Pigman and Grand Cathay. For Pigman, similar formation in his previous game. Peasant Long Spears and Jade Warrior Halberds forming a box at first. Last time he had to break formation and push the demons back so his cannons stayed online. But now we don't have 3 cannons. We have 1 firing rocket and then a bunch of peasant archers with an impressive sky force of 2 great Long Marauders and a Dreadboat Shugi Lord of Yin. Again with the slow, again with the Ancestral Warrior summon. Now for Slaanesh, we have some flanking Chaos Furies as per usual. Looks like double Fiend of Slaanesh, triple Fury. We have some Exalted Demonettes, looks like maybe just 1, a Devoted Marauder frontline with some Chaos Warriors backing them up, and of course Azazel with his Rampage and his Demon Blade. I want to buy your board game in person. On our website it's $45, is it $40 or $45? Because I have to ship it to you. At any convention I'm at, it's just $20, so I just hand you the box and that's it. Olaf, I don't know where in the world you are, because you're kind of up at whatever hour, so I just don't know what to think. Long Marauders found the flanking units this time. After game 1, when his bolt throwers got shut down, Pigman will not be flanked again. Also, we have firing rockets trying to just damage the front line before it gets here. Storm Shadows out to slow these guys down a little bit as the firing rockets do a healthy spread. Or play the one Super Tank Knight dude who's unbeatable. Gregor of the Fort? Gregor of the Fort's not unbeatable, but he is spoopy. Yeah, you're right, Will. Long Rider's out doing more hunting. Looks like the Chaos Warriors are trying to bait them to go down to the ground, but they're not going to take that bait. Chaos Warriors taking a lot of damage as they try and move up. Time is on Cathay's side. The longer the advance takes, the more damage Slaanesh takes. As we saw with the cannon game, once the melee starts, the artillery really doesn't have too much to do. Cathay is so tightly formed. Ooh, never mind that talking point, though, is the Pavane of Slaanesh going to force the Great Longbow Riders to the ground, and the Fiends are setting up for a collapse. They got to go now, though, because that Rampage wears off in 2-1, but in come the Fiends, plus the Furies already taking the fight, and Demonettes. The Longbow Riders, very expensive cav piece, dragged to the ground by excellent Rampage play. Like that a lot. There's a Storm of Shadows Overcast trying to slow these guys down, but it is to no avail. There is no help coming from Longbow Riders, who are just straight up dead in the span of one Rampage. Now Zazel's trying to hunt down the Yin Lord, and the Longbow Riders probably want to get out of here too, just in case there's another Rampage in their future. Devoted Marauder's about to rout as they collide with the front line. Jade Warrior Halberd's going to hold against the Dark Tides for as long as they are needed. The Fire and Rocket's still online. And of course, oh, we do have a Zhengdu War Drum. How could I miss that? ITP and melee attack for everybody. In the sky, we have the Longbow Riders fighting as Furies. Going to kill one off. Another might flank them soon, but Ancestral Warrior Summon is out as the Fire and Rockets fire in. That is a terrible time to be an Exalted Demonette. The Longbow Riders traded horrendously bad versus those Furies. That was a terrible time for them, as Azazel is also ripping them to shreds. Overall, Cathay is feeling good, still up on damage value, still up on balance of power, and I would agree, but the Longbow Riders have suffered a horrible fate. I think those are mutually exclusive things. Your Longbow Riders can get fucked up while you're still doing fine in the battle. As Azazel terror routes them almost off the map, he's going to get a rear charge now and try and maybe just route them while they're right on the edge. But there is a whole other battle going on, so we should refocus. Now, Fiends are in here. Archer's going to fire at them. Fiends with only 30 armor and no missile resistance, relying on that physical resistance to keep them alive. It will be difficult, and such an expensive unit, like the Longbow Riders, any expensive cavalry is having a terrible time in this matchup, as they are running into spears and getting shot at by cheap little peasant bowmen that are actually killing them quite quickly. Ancestral Warrior Summon has successfully routed off the Exalted Demonettes so far away from the battle that I think by the time they get here, it will have been decided one way or the other. Now, the Zhengdu War Drum is in here. Man, that drum is quiet. Anyway, it's in there supposedly beating the drums of war as one of the Fiends fades away. Slaanesh is falling so far behind on balance of power. I believe we're going to be going to a Game 5 final game. I just don't see how Slaanesh comes back from this. Their front line is in shambles. Their elite infantry got peeled away. One of their Fiends is already dead. Another one is down to half HP and falling. And the Cathay blob of spears is still as strong as it was on Warhammer 3 release, despite several nerfs to the faction. Still just being a crazy blobbing stat stick is very strong against Slaanesh, a faction that can't threaten you with artillery because it doesn't have any, can't threaten you with archers or kite because it doesn't have any, it just has some Marauder horsemen who can easily be outshot by Cathay. And Slaanesh has always hated this matchup. I'm not shocked it still looks terrible for them. A moose won't spit nice there. No sheep spit nice. Anyone knows if Croman or Chaos Furies of Slaanesh win in melee? I think the Chaos Furies of Slaanesh beat the Croman. Alright, the last Fiend is dead. The Fire Rocket even throws on guard mode and starts firing at the Demonettes once again. But there's no hope. It's 3,800 damage value to 7,000. Peasant archers get rampaged quick by a Pavane, just to stop their shooting a little bit, I suppose. But it's not like Slaanesh has Burning Head to just go up this giant blob. It's not like they have Sword of Corn or anything. They don't have a lot of good blob punishment, and it shows. They can bring Slicing Shards, but it's risky. Takes us to Game 5. I thought Captain Telos played really well. It's just a cursed matchup, and it certainly looked that way. But his Rampage shenanigans were really good. I liked his build. I liked his patience in moving up. I liked a lot of the things he did. It's just these factions are not meant to fight each other. As Cathay laughs in stats. GG's. Not to take credit away from Pigman. I mean, he put together a good build. He executed it well. No complaints there. You still have to win the game, even if the matchup's favored. You still gotta win it. Last map is Crossroads. Big, flat map. this is it. Both players down to their final faction. Captain Telis on his Tomb Kings, what started off the stream for him, and Pigman 202 with Grand Cathay. So far, the only faction that's putting in the work for him, as it's defeated both of its opponents. It moves on to the third. Double Bone Giant incoming. Scripted match, by the way. Oh yeah, totally scripted. Again, I have thoughts on this matchup, but I will hold them until we get into game. Last match of the night, no matter what happens. Will Grand Cathay go 3-0? Or will the Tomb Kings hold up their end of the bargain, close it out for Telis like they started it, put a nice sandwich on the night for him? Tomb Kings win, Daemons loss, Slaanesh win, Slaanesh loss, Tomb Kings win. Gun to my head, and I just have to make a quick prediction who I think is favored. Probably Grand Cathay in this matchup. But I do have some thoughts. I have some schemes that, again, I will reveal after we hit start. Pigman is ready. Captain Telis just playing with chevrons or downgrading a unit to upgrade a different one. So he's just kind of doing the last tinkering on his build, but he seems like he has a build set. So getting into game in just a second. Alright, both players are ready. After the countdown is done, I'll say my point. Boom. I was wondering how this matchup changed because of the giant kitty cats, and it looks like Telis is taking 2. And I'm so curious. After the kitty cats got their buffs, they got collision attacks, they feel a lot better now, they feel like really strong and tanky and smooth. We've been seeing a ton of them, especially my Kill the King event that we did recently. The 2v2, we saw a lot of Cetra Double Kitty Cat. And I don't know how Cathay will do against it. Now, like, on the one hand, they have a metric fuckload of spears, like, on their roster. And we can see Pigman brought 10. Well, 9. Also Iron Hail Gunners. But on the other hand, Cathay used to struggle. Like, the very start of Warhammer 3, they struggled with double Stonehorn from the Ogre Kingdoms. And Kitty Cats kind of work like that now, where it's just, like, big, sleek monsters constantly knocking you out of formation. Can be pretty tough. So I'm just curious. But Pigman with triple cannons again could be really dangerous. Now, we saw Telis with Karanak was super on point with his dodging. Maybe he could do that with a larger target, but it is a larger target, so it will be a little easier for the cannons to hit it if they want to. So we'll see. Ushapti Summon, nice to lizards. It's true. It's true, the Ushapti Summon can be good. So I just, like... My heart tells me this is Cathay favored, and my experience tells me this is Cathay favored, but I haven't seen it since the cat buffs, and that is pretty significant. Triple cannon is a lot, it's true. But triple cannon goes both ways. Like, Pigman's build is fragile if you break through. Triple Iron Hails, triple cannons, but like if you get stuck in just a melee, then you have some pretty vulnerable halberds and not a lot of mobility. We have a Peasant Horseman, a single Jade Lancer, the Zhengdu War Drum again, Dragonbow Shugi Lord of Yin with Ancestral Warriors and Storm of Shadows, 3 Iron Hail Gunners, 3 cannons, but like, yeah. There's not a lot of mobility here. And especially if you get down to these 5 archers that we can see. If the 5 archers are allowed to just sit and shoot up and over the top, that's going to be really brutal. In the situation where the cannons are shut down, right? Like, not that the cannons are going to counterfire the archers. I shouldn't say that. That's not what I mean. It's just like, imagine a late game situation where it's 2 kitty cats or maybe even 1 cat's dead, but the other one's still alive. You still have some skeletons to bog down these spears and stuff. And then you have these archers. I mean, the archers are just going to rain hell upon these spears, and they'll slowly but surely get picked off. So, Grand Cathay doesn't have a lot to deal with the archers. If their Peasant Horsemen and Jade Lancers, just these 2 Horseman units, get shut down by something, the archers will be very dangerous. But you could just get too far behind. Like, if the cannons, the Iron Hails, annihilate Cetra and the other cat, and then your front line makes no headway against the Grand Cathay front line, then yeah, you're going to fucking lose. This is a terrible map for charging at a gun line. The players knew what the map was before making their builds. The maps were declared before the series even started. Alright, for the Tomb Kings, to actually talk about their build, we have a Necrotech with just restore on his chariot. Or does he have the Van Braces? Yeah, he does. The constant minus 24 melee defense and attack for anybody he hits. And then he does have a heal for the Cameron War Sphinx. We have Cetra the Imperishable on his own War Sphinx with only Assyrian's Incantation of Vengeance for him. 5 archers, one is a Blessed Legion of Flach. And then a bunch of Skeleton Spearmen and Warriors. We do have the Kepler Guard. And we have 3 Skeleton Horse Archers and 2 Carrion. Yin Shugi has really been making a comeback for me. Dude, Olaf, I have been telling people, you can rewind streams for months, for almost half a year. I have been telling people Zhao Ming is overrated. The Shugenin Lord is just, like, better. It's a cheaper caster with still a really solid stat line. And they're honestly better combatants than Zhao Ming is because he misses so damn much in his dragon form. But people are like, oh, but Zhao Ming has a heal. Yeah, he's also like 2,500 fucking gold. And he can only cast his good spell, Final Transmutation, from human form. But he can cast like okay or shitty spells from his dragon form, so ooh. I don't know. I don't think he's a bad lord. I just think the Yin Lord is horribly undervalued by people. Van Braces the Sun might be the best non-legendary item in the game. Will, yeah, that is super correct in my opinion. Van Braces are so fucking good. So the Tomb Kings are sitting outside of cannon range right now, starting to move up at this moment as they're getting some of their flanking forces into position. Zhao's 2,000. Okay. He's 2,000 with his breath attack and his final trans, I imagine. Horse archers are very good. It's true. Cannon starting to get some free shots off. There's no chance they run out of ammo in this game, so I do appreciate them just lobbing shots. Might as well. They'll do better versus large targets, but this is just objectively correct. Shoot at what you can, get the free damage out, and now they're starting to retarget onto Cetra now that he's in range. What is Van Braces of the Sun? It's the Necrotect item that's constant minus 24 melee defense and melee attack for anything he touches. Cannons are splitting up shots. Some are going for the Blessed Legion of Flach. Some are going for Cetra. The Skeleton Horse Archers move in, and the Carrion are going to dive early. Now, they will probably die, but I think they're relying on their 46 melee defense to keep them alive. And they're sitting in Spearmen, but they are small, so they're not going to take that much damage. Though even as I say that, they're still taking an unholy amount of damage and not getting a lot done. As the Skeleton Horse Archers have moved up uncontested and are shooting into the cannons, this is a disaster because the Iron Hail Gunners can't see them. I mean, even if they turned and fired. They have short range and they can't see over the tops of their own troops. So one cannon is offline, and Cetra is untouched so far. His dodging has been effective, and only one of the cannons was shooting at him. As now the cannons turn on to the Kepler Guard. The Carrion have died for this. They tried to buy the army a little bit of uncontested time moving up, but yeah, one cannon is down. It's leaving the formation. As we established before, it's not like Cathay has a lot of mobility in this that they can leave the box and protect these guys and bring them back. They have a Jade Lancer and a Peasant Horseman. That is largely it. Now, could those beat some Peasant Horse Archers? I mean, Skeleton Horse Archers? Yeah, but it's not like the Skeleton Horse Archers are going to sit here and let you do that as they fire in the back of these guys. And the basic Skeleton Archers are getting into range now. They are just going to fire at the Jade Warrior, the Jade Halberd front line. I would encourage them to get a little closer and take out these cannons. And yeah, Pigman starts to move up his front line, as he did in the first time he took Grand Cathay. Realizing his cannons are in danger if those archers get into range, he's going to march out and he needs to buy them some space. As Cetra gets slowed by a Storm of Shadows. And now that the cannons have actually been getting shots on him, Cetra is taking big damage. And Telos isn't able to dodge with him nearly as much as he was at the start of the game because, you know, he has a whole army to command and things are actually starting to happen. But look at these Jade Warriors just get melted by the archers of the Tomb Kings. That is a big problem. Now Cetra's still taking damage, and the Skeleton Horse Archers are doing their best to kite away, getting arrow shots in wherever they can, and the third cannon is actually rallied and allowed to come back, while Cetra continues to try and dodge all of this Lord Snipe. Usurian's Incantation of Vengeance, plus a Spearman charge on the Peasant Horsemen. They are just Peasant Horsemen. They don't have that much damage to them. They're just disrupting archers for now, as the Kemrian War Sphinx is going to tear out away some Jade Warrior Halberds, but something must be done about these cannons, and the Tomb Kings are even going to have to suicide in some Skeleton Horsemen, try and get in there, but they are charging into Peasant Long Spears, fully braced. They just get massacred on the charge, and Cetra's still taking a lot of damage. He cannot get a restore from the Necrotech. The Necrotech can only heal up the regular Kemrian War Sphinx, as for some reason Cetra on the War Sphinx does not count as a construct. He is a lord, I guess. But the Skeleton Horse Archer still running in, now getting shot at by Iron Hill Gunners. I really liked when they were being patient, shooting in with their arrows. The Suicide Dive is doing, unfortunately, nothing for them, and they are just dying, so that is a mistake from the Tomb Kings. I know he's getting desperate because of how much damage Cetra is taking. I get it. It's a panic-inducing time. But I think earlier his archers could have focused the cannons before Grand Cathay marched out to stop him, and I think his cavalry were better off just shooting, so this is unfortunate. Some arrows from the Tomb Kings could go back to haunt them. For now, Grand Cathay is way up in damage value, but this is where things start to get super concerning for me. The Grand Cathay front line got pulled out of formation and picked apart because Pigman was under pressure for the archers, and there's a lot of damage value sitting here that could die super quickly. Like, all of these ranged units, if they die with full ammo, as the Kemrian War Sphinx is now coming in to say hello, like, that balance power will come right back. Cetra is mega fucked. Like, I acknowledge that. I think the Tomb Kings are just trying to keep him alive now so they can have a caster and leadership in the late game. But the Skeleton Archers are in range, mostly uncontested. Skeleton Warriors are even getting in here. We do have a Kemrian War Sphinx causing a bunch of problems, using his collision attacks to full effect. Now, he does have to watch out for these Ancestral Warriors. He can't get caught up in their frostbite and take a ton of damage. Ooh, no. Slowed by Storm of Shadows right in front of the Iron Hill Gunners. He is melted by the focus fire of Grand Cathay. He's going to try and get away now. He needs a restore soon from the Van Braces of the Sun guy. As Cetra continues to get poked down by the cannons. There's the restore. That is another big volley coming in from the Iron Hill Gunners trying to get away. Still a lot of the restore heal left to go. And Ushapti Summon is out, plows into the back of these guys. As Cetra takes a bunch more cannon shots in the distance, 1800 HP for him, as the last Skeleton Horse Archer is still alive. It needs to be kept alive so that it can run down anybody who is routing. Jade Lancer's still alive and well as they run down the Blessed Legion of Flach. We still have 3 archers online, though honestly they're not doing amazing on ammunition. And the cannon crews are getting pushed off. 2 of the cannons are offline. 1 is under attack right now, and it's only down to 2 models as it continues to try and snipe out Cetra. Plus, the Kemrian War Sphinx and the Usurian's Incantation of Vengeance did a lot of damage to the Jade Lancers, really reducing the mobility capacity of Grand Cathay. But there's another volley from the Iron Hill Gunners, takes out the Kemrian War Sphinx. Cetra gets shot by another cannon in the face, and this cannon refuses to go down. Still poking down poor Cetra. The Skeleton Horse Archers dive in for a bit of a leadership route it looks like they're going for, but that does allow some of these Jade Warrior Halberds to come back. It allows the cannons to maybe rally in a second. Cetra gets shot by more cannons as the Shugi Lord even dives into him, taking matters into her own hands. If she gets one more hit on him, he's just going to crumble to nothingness. As he is already crumbling, but he might rally, but if she gets one more shot at him, then he's way too low to rally. Archers are in, they take out the last cannon. So Cetra is not going to die to guaranteed damage now, but the Shugi Lord is constantly refreshing her charge bonus onto him, just trying to get that one hit that will cause him to crumble indefinitely. Looks like she got it. There's no way he rallies at that low of HP. One final Lucerian's Incantation of Vengeance, but he dies. Balance of Power dips. It looks like the Tomb Kings will lose. They were setting up real good. Just a couple tiny mistakes cost them an awful lot. GG's. Went all 5 games, but the double Kitty Cats melted by the Iron Hail Gunners and Grand Cannons. Skeleton Horse Archers did okay. Carrion did okay. Peasant Long Spears got a lot of value. Jade Warrior Halberds got crushed. Iron Hail Gunners, one of them did fantastic. The others did okay. And the Cannons, out of the 3, 2 of them did such fantastic work that it's okay the third one didn't get too much done, as the Skeleton Horses just took them out. Zhengdu Wardrum in all 3 Grand Cathay games, all 3 wins. Maybe I need to reassess if it's good or not. Seems like it's fine if you're doing a box build, which a lot of people don't like Grand Cathay because they tend to prioritize box builds. And if you wonder why, tell CA to stop buffing their blob stuff. I know they've been slowly nerfing them, but it's just like so much of their roster goes around blobbing. Yang and Yin Harmony, Wardrum. I thought they had some other auras. Terracotta Sentinels have some auras that help out. Missile Mirror is a bit of a bitch. Strong single entity artillery and Zaytang. Yeah, Grand Cathay is a strong box faction. But that'll do it for tonight. Thanks to Captain Teos and Pigman for playing. Boom, boom. Came down to Grand Cathay having to win every single game, and they did it. And to the people that argue Grand Cathay is actually a B- or a C tier faction, I say you're just not creative enough. There's too many people taking, like, Zhao Ming, 3 or 4 Onyx Crowmen, Jade Warrior Frontline, Peasant Long Spears as well, and then, like, 2 Jade Warrior Crossmen. And then they slowly get picked apart, and they're like, yeah, Grand Cathay sucks. And it's like, nah, dude, you gotta get more creative. They have a bunch of aggressive options. They have clearly from Pigman's builds here, they have a bunch more defensive options than people are thinking about, but I feel like if you just auto-lock the build from 4 patches ago, you're going to lose. So if you're out there playing Grand Cathay, explore a little bit. Try it out. I mean, you can still box pretty fucking hard, obviously. Silly Grand Cathay with their boxes. Feels like they wanted martial prowess for Cathay, but unlike the High Elves, it's too hard to break. Yeah. Thanks, Will. Is there anybody I should be raiding? Let's see if anybody's streaming Warhammer 3 right now. Alright, anybody streaming this dead video game? Warhammer 3. No. No. There's no one out there. There's this guy who's 3 people watching him. Sure, I'll raid him. Fuck it. He won't even know who I am. Now would be a good time to insert ads. Don't tell me what to do. Add, redirect, boom. He doesn't have live redirects on. Alright, never mind. You're not going anywhere. Goodbye, goodbye. Oh my god.